I'm going to keep this straightforward because I know a lot of you are on the fence about dropping a treadmill into a living room that already has a coffee table, a bookshelf, and a dog that loves to nap on the floor. The question isn't just does it work, but does it actually fit my schedule, my space, and my budget without turning into a white noise machine at 6 a.m. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I've spent the last week unboxing the 5.0 HP treadmill, wiring it up, testing the Incline on a rainy afternoon, and scrolling through the companion app, so let's walk through what that experience really looks like. First off, the biggest hesitation people have is the dreaded assembly nightmare. This model arrives in a single box that's roughly the size of a large suitcase, and the instructions are surprisingly concise, about 10 steps with clear diagrams. The frame folds flat, which means you can slide it into a closet or under a bed after a quick flip of a lever. In my apartment, I set it up in a corner of the spare bedroom, and the whole process took me about 15 minutes with just a screwdriver and a rubber mallet. That's a big win for anyone who isn't willing to dedicate a weekend to a permanent gym installation. Now, let's talk about daily usability. The motor is rated at 5.0 horsepower, and in practice that translates to a smooth, almost silent belt when you're cruising at a jog. I put on a Zoom call and ran a 30-minute walk at 3.5 miles per hour while the other end of the room was filled with conversation. No one complained about a humming engine. The auto incline feature is the first thing that sets this treadmill apart from the entry-level crowd. You can program it to climb up to 15% automatically, and the transition is gentle enough that you don't feel the belt jerking. I tried the hill climber program from the 71 presets, and after a few minutes the incline nudged up to 10% while the speed held steady at 4 miles per hour. It felt like a real hill rather than a treadmill trying to fake one, which is useful for anyone who wants a cardio challenge without stepping outside. The Smart App control is where the convenience factor becomes tangible. After pairing the treadmill with my phone, the app let me select a program, adjust speed, and even monitor heart rate if I wear a Bluetooth strap. The interface is clean, and the latency is negligible. Press increase speed on the phone and the belt responds instantly. For people who love data, the app logs distance, calories, and incline changes, and you can export that info to a spreadsheet if you're tracking progress for a race. That said, the app does require a stable Wi-Fi connection. I noticed occasional hiccups when the router was overloaded, but a simple reboot solved it. What about the physical footprint while you're actually using it? The belt is 20 inches wide, which is adequate for most casual runners but might feel tight for someone with a wider stride. The maximum speed tops out at 10 miles per hour, so elite runners aiming for 12 miles per hour intervals will hit a ceiling. The weight capacity is listed at 300 pounds, and during my testing I placed a 280 pounds dumbbell rack on the deck to simulate a heavier user. The frame held firm, and there was no wobble. However, the overall height of the machine when unfolded is about 5 feet, so you'll need a ceiling clearance of at least 7 feet if you plan to use the high incline programs. Let's break down who will actually benefit from this treadmill. If you're an apartment dweller who wants to squeeze a cardio session into a tight schedule, the foldaway design and quiet motor are huge advantages. The 71 built-in programs give you variety without having to design workouts yourself, which is perfect for beginners or anyone who prefers a guided experience. Families also appreciate the auto incline because a teenager can select hill sprint while a parent runs a low-impact walk, all on the same machine without manual adjustments. On the flip side, if you're training for a marathon, you'll probably outgrow the 10 miles per hour top speed and the 20-inch belt fairly quickly. The treadmill's incline is useful for hill training, but serious runners often need steeper grades and longer, uninterrupted runs that simulate road conditions better than a motorized belt can. Also, if you have a dedicated home gym room, you might prefer a non-folding model that offers a larger deck and higher weight capacity, even if it means sacrificing the convenience of a foldaway unit. Now, let's talk about hidden trade-offs that aren't on the spec sheet. The motor's quietness is impressive, but the price point reflects the inclusion of the Smart App and Auto Incline. You're essentially paying for technology rather than raw power. If you're comfortable using a basic treadmill without an app, you could find a cheaper unit that still delivers a solid 5.0 HP motor. Conversely, the folding mechanism adds a few moving parts that could wear over time. The latch that locks the deck in place.